So the whole Josh Whedon, Ray Fisher controversy. I just want to talk about it because I feel like we brushed against this a few times before
Mm.
while doing the whole review and talking about Justice League and stuff like that. But I seen some articles the other day.
Okay.
One said something about Josh Whedon being blacklisted in Hollywood,
Mm.
which after reading the article, it's literally like just a rumor from one individual that may or may not be a good source.
Mm.
But as they were talking about it, I really didn't know who Josh Whedon was. I mean, you told me about the whole Buffy Vampire Slayer before, but then I started looking at all the other stuff he did, like
Yeah,
the
Firefly, the
Avengers. And,
Avengers. Yeah, Buffy.
whoa,
Really known for Buffy though, but
yeah, but and then Agents of Shield. Like I was watching all that stuff, I was like, damn, he made I mean, not League of Legends, Justice League though. It's like, it was compared to the Marvel stuff.
yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he
Justice
didn't.
League was garbage.
Yeah, it was. Well, he didn't write the movie or nothing like that. Usually, he's one
He
of those.
came in and he just did an edit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they re-edited it, but usually when he does something, he's one of those people where it's like Buffy, Angel, Firefly. It's like I have to be the one who writes this, and then he also has to be the one who films it. So he's like one of those kind of directors.
I've seen the script too, like the whole script changes that he did for a lot of other stuff. Like they call him in to either rewrite scripts or write scripts for certain things. Like he did Twister from back in the day, so did a lot of stuff. Toy Story was one that
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he didn't write the script for it, but he wrote script changes for Toy Story. So Ray Fisher, when he was talking about the abuse that he was getting, I understood that he couldn't say a lot of stuff because especially if they're doing an investigation, that would just, I guess by law, legally, he couldn't say anything.
Well, from what I understand about that, they finished their investigation with that, and Ray Fisher, or I don't know if it was him or maybe, I'm assuming it's him because he's the one who's saying a lot of stuff on Twitter, but he said that, I can't say it because I'm under NDA. And then WB was like, no, we don't have him under an NDA. That's not even what an NDA is. So
that is what an NDA is, non-disclosure agreement. That's literally
but
you can't say it.
Yeah, but NDAs don't apply if it's for something illegal, which that would be. If it's racism, harassment.
It does apply if it's for an investigation. Like if they put it under investigation and he's not allowed to talk about said investigation, they can do an NDA for that. So with them saying that it's not, that just, you don't I'm pretty sure they don't want anything to make themselves look bad.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't think they care. Whether he is or he isn't, I mean, he can still come out and say it. Yeah. I mean, it's just,
he can, but let's say he does come out and say exactly what happened, and he actually is under NDA. Then they can bring that to court.
They can still legally prosecute him and stuff, but then he can always, fight back and be like, well, they said that they weren't having one, but then it all
that ain't gonna happen. The judge is going to be like, okay, but you know that you're under NDA. You know what I mean? It's like, and you still said it anyway. Looking back at it,
I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, Joss Whedon, from what I hear from a lot of stuff back in the day, he is one of those perfectionist, stern type people. So it's just that we'll probably never know what happened between them.
So that's what I was talking about. The articles, racist, a lot of racist shit that happened, not just on set, but inside the executive rooms and stuff like that.
Like what?
So if you remember, and this I kind of put two and two together. If you look at the original Justice League, and look at the one that we have now.
Yeah.
Did you notice anything that's like starkly different?
Well, if you mean that his parts were all cut out, then
not just his parts. Every person of color was cut out.
No, not really.
Think about it.
You had Miles Dyson in the movie, or whatever his name is.
For about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean
so
what else would you cut out?
It introduces character and then that. The Asian guy, the Atom, he wasn't in it at all.
What Asian guy?
Miles Dyson's co-worker.
The guy who had one line?
He didn't have just one line. He was in multiple scenes. Remember they went back to
in the new one.
Yes, in the new one, he had multiple scenes. You remember when he was talking about he was working on the nanotechnology stuff?
So he had 2 lines. I mean, look, it's like I get it. I get what you're saying, but
hold on.
Okay, I'll wait till you finish.
They literally cut out every person of color, and they cut out a lot of cyborg scenes
for a good reason.
Like just gone. It wasn't a good reason why they cut that shit out. So that stuff was gone, right? And there was like a back and forth between Ray Fisher and not WB, like a back and forth between them, but WB had came out with a statement, and Ray Fisher was like, okay, we're just going to ignore the fact that the executive said they didn't want an angry black man as the center of their story.
That could be the case.
If you look at it, that's what it was. It was technically when we look at this scene, angry black man, and in addition to that, this is something that happened that I also saw later from the director that did it originally.
Zack Snyder.
Names. Thank you, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. I don't know if you remember, but he originally had the Green Lantern in there.
And like the little scene and the fight scene?
Yes, there was no. There was supposed to be an episode of him bringing in Jon Stewart. And he was going to be talking with Alfred or something like that. He was supposed to.
He was going to be in that scene where Superman comes and stuff. But I remember,
yeah. So originally he filmed that in his front yard or backyard or something like that. He had a green screen set up at his house to film this scene because WB did not want it filmed at all. And he threatened that he was going to walk if they took that scene out.
No, I guess he's not a man of his word.
So he threatened, but then the reason why he didn't is because he originally didn't want to take out a person of color from his movie.
I don't know if I believe all of that.
Okay, again, this is his words.
I know I don't necessarily believe his words because he likes to flip flop and change what he says. So
I'm just going off of.
I know. I'm just like I know you're going off of what they're saying, but it's like I'm not necessarily believing what he wants because 1 minute it's like, oh, I want to do this, and then 2 years later it's like, oh, I wanted to do that all along, and it's like, no, you didn't. So, but I get what you're saying though. He filmed this extra scene, and that doesn't surprise me at all. WB don't want nothing to do with Green Lantern ever since that Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds because that flopped so hard. So that perfectly understand.
Let me see. Okay, then they asked me when they saw the movie, because he put it in there. He put it in the cut. And then they asked me when they saw the movie and saw that I put it in there, they take it out. Snyder was talking to Esquire about this. And I said that I would quit if they tried to take it out. And I felt bad. The truth is I didn't want the fans to not have a movie just based on one stand that I was going to take. Basically the stand of like, if you take this person of color out, I'm not going to do the movie. He concluded that the Green Lantern was Jon Stewart, and that was part of it too. And I was like, I don't want to take a person of color out of this movie. I'm not going to do it. But I felt like having Harry Lennox's Martian Manhunter at the end of the day was that was okay. So basically, he still added more people of color in his movie. Looking at it, this was WB saying that they want to take it out. Okay, so let's assume that they don't want to have anything to do with Green Lantern because of the Green Lantern movie. That doesn't make any sense because the Green Lantern was its own thing. Yet you're making another Suicide Squad movie. So you don't want to, you're already making another movie because the first one flopped so bad. So you're making a better movie. Why is that not the case with Green Lantern? Also, it's a whole different person. It's not even the exact same Green Lantern. Why would that make a difference? Also, this isn't even canon. Why does that make a difference?
Why do management teams never get the properties they make? I know. I'm just saying it's just the decision they made. Green Lantern flopped so fucking hard that they was like, we're not doing it anywhere until like the only reason or the only thing that started picking up traffic with that is when they started to do the whole fan theory behind the black guy in Arrow. Talking about like, oh, is he supposed to be Jon Stewart or whatever? That fan theory ran so popular that they're actually making Green Lantern show with him or something with that for HBO
Are they
Max.
making a Green Lantern show with him? Really?
That's what they're saying, and they got it on TV showing as such. So
that's stupid.
That's
stupid. His name ain't even Jon Stewart.
No, I don't think it's going to be Jon Stewart, but it's one of those things where he's just going to be a Green Lantern.
See, I can't even. So with the TV series, I can't count that. You know what I mean? Because TV series, they do whatever they want. They've done stuff.
Yeah, not true though.
But random stuff throughout the whole thing. It's like, all right, whatever. I don't even remember this in the comic. I don't even remember this character. I don't remember them talking or acting like this. So, to me, because you have one Flash on TV series and then another Flash in the movies, and
they're separate. You're the majority of the audiences. Guess what? You're smart. WB doesn't give a fuck. That's why that's they think that people they think that people aren't smart.
So that's my issue with the movies. As fans, we've always said what we wanted in the movies, but they never given it to us.
Yeah.
And then you got Zack Snyder leaving, and then you have a new director come in and cut out everything that had context. But unfortunately, everything that had context had a person of color in it. And it's gone. It's like, but why all of them though? You know what I mean? Like, why all the scenes?
Well, there's only two black people in the movie. You have
Ray Fisher, person of color, like that black, Asian, everything. You know what I mean? It's like,
three people. You have three people of color. I mean, technically, Gal Gadot, she's Israeli or something. So I guess that's person of color too. But
also 4 is you got Jon Stewart. Like, you even take him out of the Zack Snyder edition. It's like, I don't understand why they're doing that.
I mean, it's look, you have a 4-hour movie that they had to chop down to 2. Now, maybe they do have some kind of hidden agenda with people of color. But to me, none of those other people of color outside of Cyborg mattered in that whole movie as far as telling the story that you're trying to tell.
The father didn't matter. He gave his life for them to mark the mother box.
Did he have to though?
He did.
He could have put the mother box in the room or walked out of the room and hit a button. So that's not integral to the story. Man. I'm talking about what you need to get across to make the movie coherent. His scenes didn't really matter. To me, Cyborg was more important because if you told
I'll say this.
But
I'll say this though. For the movie, did the movie make sense? A lot of people say no.
Hell no, it didn't. Why? Because it's a 4-hour movie that they trimmed down in pieces. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it could be because that they took a 4-hour story and cut it down to 2 hours.
So you tell me that some of that other stuff couldn't be cut out?
Like what other stuff? You gonna cut out scenes with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, or other scenes?
A lot of that stuff could have been removed.
Yeah, a lot of the reshot stuff could have been removed, but as far as main story,
I'm talking about like the actual main story, like when they were showcasing each individual person, they showcased them so much. Cyborg, they didn't even showcase Cyborg at all. He showed up as an angry
what do you mean by showcase?
As a robot. Like showcases and like they didn't give him enough backstory to like really understand who he was. Everyone else had that kind of had that backstory.
Yeah, because if you interjected that backstory, the movie would be longer than 2 hours.
Okay, take out I don't really want to say take out Wonder Woman's part.
Yeah. Who else would you take out?
You can.
I mean, yeah, you could do anything,
because you know who she is.
Yeah, you could take out everything, but yeah, she's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Who else would you cut out? Aquaman? I mean, somebody had to go, and that's the sad part of it. Number one, WB shouldn't have chopped up the movie to 2 hours anyway. That's just period. But they did. That's what they mandated.
How much was the long? Like, how many minutes was the original movie?
Well, it was meant to be a 2-part movie, so take it the length that it is now. That's what it was supposed to be. They probably written the story out to be 4 hours. Granted, you can chop down Zack Snyder's version too to about 3 hours and something, but it was meant to be longer, and they just cut all that up.
Okay, I'm just trying to look for the original Justice League. 2017.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the movie. 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were mandated by WB to cut it down to 2 hours. They could have made it longer and then kept all those scenes in there, but they wanted to make a lot of their bonuses and stuff before the year went up, so they cut it up.
A lot of those scenes.
Yeah, I agree. It made the movie.
Enough time.
It made the movie.
Enough time to just like say like add 6 more minutes, 6 or 7 more minutes.
Yeah, they could have did that.
More context for Cyborg. To me, when you have an actor that's saying, "Look, there's abuse on set. There's bullshit that I had to deal with." Mm. You have other actors standing up and saying, and then like literally saying the same thing that he said. Mm. I can't just be like, well, it's because of this and this and this. No. Literally, when I watch it, they remove every actor of color. Like, and I'm not just trying to turn it into a race thing, but it's like, well, when you say racism, it's like, damn, put two and two together. Why does this movie have no context?
Noticeable. It's noticeable.
It's highly noticeable.
Yeah.
And then when you actually have someone that, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, because remember when he first said stuff, nobody knew what he was talking about. He just said abuse, and then he just like now he comes out and just says it like, look, racism. Like there was a lot of racism going on.
Yeah, but
not just from him, but from the executives too.
Yeah, but he also saying a lot of bullshit too that don't make sense. Like he's
bullshit.
Okay, well, he's blaming Walter Hamada for a lot of stuff too. Walter Hamada didn't have shit to do with Justice League. He came in the year after the movie came out. So
who is this dude?
Walter Hamada is, I want to say, the president of WB America or something like that. Basically, the guy, vice president or president, somebody high up.
Yeah, that's the guy that was supposed to be like hindering the investigation when they were trying
to, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why would he hinder it? A lot of the stuff he was even blaming him, like, oh, it's him for doing this and him for doing that. It's like he wasn't even nowhere a part of that. It was the guy before him that made all the decisions with the movie.
He was letting it happen. That was the issue. He was letting it happen. And in the investigation, when he said that he was trying to hinder the investigation by saying that Fisher wasn't cooperating, even though he said he was.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be one situation where we're never going to know what happened, because if he don't come out and say it, they're not going to come out and say it. I mean, who knows? You could be 100% absolutely right, but at the same time, it could be one of those situations where Ray Fisher isn't an actor. He's a theater person. This was the first movie he's ever been in. He's never done any other movie. I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. He's the new guy on set. He isn't well seasoned. So a lot of times, if he was feeling like a prima donna and stuff, and if Henry Cavill, or let's say Wonder Woman, was saying some shit, then it's like, okay, yeah, they would have probably let some shit get out there or whatever. But by it being him, unless he comes out
as Jason Momoa, really, he came out and said the exact same thing.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying, unless they come out and specifically say what happened, then it's going to be one of those things where it's like, we never know. I mean, and he could say stuff for the next 20 years and WB can be like, yeah, that never happened. That never happened. That never happened.
Just throw something out here and be like, the whole Me Too movement was bullshit because we don't know exactly what happened.
I don't know. I have my misagreements about social organizations like that anyway, but I'm not saying he's 100% in the wrong, but he could not be 100% in the right either. And over the past couple of years, he's looking like he's more of like a mad. He's looking like the person that he didn't want to portray in Justice League, an angry black man.
That he didn't want to portray. He never said that he had a problem with portraying that. Well, the WB executive said they don't want an angry black man as their main character in Justice League, and you can see that they took that out.
I don't know,
because he literally was an angry black man. Like the thing that they want to get away from caused him to actually look like just an angry black man in the original, but they never showed why he's angry. They just like, oh, here's this angry dude that's iffy. You know what I mean? Throughout the whole fucking film.
I don't know. It could have been a prima donna thing. I'm just saying. Joss Whedon had to force him to say the word booyah. He didn't want to say it. I'm just saying. And he didn't want to say it because he felt that, I guess, he was being a black stereotype or whatever. So it's like, how you not want to say the word booyah? I can't trust him.
Shit up.
I'm not. Look it up. Look it up.
He said that?
He didn't want to say booyah because I guess he felt maybe he was leaning to the black stereotype or whatever. But yeah, Joss Whedon had to kind of force him to, or no, not force him, but had to, I guess, force him to say that in the movie, in the first
one. Hold on. Ray Fisher was upset, saying Cyborg's catchphrase claims producer.
And that's like, you know, who who knows who's right, because they could have just said that about him. I don't know. But it's definitely weird. And it could be one of those things, like I said, like this was his first Hollywood movie. And he went from being a theater actor to top billing in a Hollywood movie, a part of the main cast.
Okay, but like,
but you know,
all theater people aren't like prima donnas.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they are, but you know, maybe he's one of those kind of people, like, you know, just like with anything in life. When you go to work, there's people you don't like, there's people you like. Any kind of office job has like a social environment. You have to learn to play the game, you know, so to speak. Maybe Ray Fisher's one of those people who, I don't like to do that. I like to do everything, or, you know, have one face when he goes to work. Maybe he doesn't want to play the game, or maybe he feels he shouldn't need to, but the rest of the world does. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he could be in the right. I mean, I'm assuming Josh Whedon did say some shit to him, but I don't know if it's something racist or whatever, but I know he is one of those directors that is a perfectionist that always wants to do things his way. And maybe Ray Fisher just didn't want to do that for some reason. I don't know. Or maybe he took him in the back and tried to talk to him and just basically gave him a hard conversation. And maybe Ray Fisher didn't agree with that shit. Who knows? Mm-hmm. He could have just been like, look, man, cut the bullshit. Stop all this shit. We're here to make a movie or whatever, because you got millions of dollars on the line. And maybe Ray Fisher just didn't agree with that shit and didn't take that, you know, the way he wanted to take it. I mean, it could be anything.
Are you really upset just because he didn't say booyah?
Yes.
Why?
It's his only thing. Just a word. It's his only thing.
Every single person, every character in that damn movie,
yes, it's wrong.
Not the character that we grew up with anyway.
I agree with you.
So why does saying booyah even, like, why does saying booyah negate his whole thing about racism on set and the abusive behavior?
When did I say that?
That other people have already said that, yes, that stuff happens, and even past actors have come forward to say this stuff because they feel comfortable with saying it now, because one guy's trying to stand up for himself.
When did I say booyah eclipse all of that?
No.
I mean, I'm agreeing with you that something happened.
Like, earlier you said that. You was
like, I was making a joke. It's called being entertaining. Like, what the fuck? But granted, I mean, yes, I'm mad that he didn't say it. It's like, it's your one fucking thing.
Of course, I'm a little upset about it too.
It's like Wolverine. When you see the claws pop, what do you expect to read on the comic book page?
Yeah,
you know,
snick it,
or Spider-Man thwip. It's like, it has to be there. But yeah, I'm not saying that Ray Fisher is completely in the wrong. I'm not saying he's lying about it. I'm just saying that it's one of those things where we never know what's gonna happen, because it's
highly suspect for me
to
go back and look at how much they took out and the amount of context they took out. I know that it's supposed to be a 2-parter and it's 2 hours long, stuff like that. There's been longer movies. You know, the fucking Avengers is a longer, like, it's a 2.5 hour type thing. So you can literally add 10 to 15 minutes to keep your context in there. 10 to 15 minutes, like, for the dad, for the Asian guy that plays Adam, like, stuff like that. You could have had that in there. Maybe you didn't have to have the football game in there. You could have took the football game out. You know what I mean? And just showed you know, mom in there and the car accident. You know,
I mean,
talking about where dad was. But
I mean, I agree with you. They fucked up with that movie. They shouldn't have given them that mandate. The movie should have been 2.5 hours. Or 2:45, or however long it was. It would have been better for it. But they were mandated by WB management, and this is what it is.
All I'm saying is that what he's saying,
it has some validity. I will say that.
Yeah, it's like,
it's highly suspect.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, what was said, what was done, but it's like, but the evidence is kind of obvious. You know what I mean? It's like, once you start eliminating this and this, like, what's left behind is like, that's kind of iffy, WB. You know what I mean? Like,
if you cut out
kind of bullshit before,
if you cut out all the obvious reshoots that they kind of did with the original movie, it's still gonna be a no coherent movie. And you're saving, I would say, or I would guess, because I mean, nobody actually knows how much it is. I would say you're saving about 10 minutes.
Yeah, let me interject a little bit of that. Though. We don't know what's reshoots and what's not.
Yeah.
Because some of that stuff could actually be in the original film.
Well, supposedly, when Zack Snyder made his version, he didn't use anything from the original or anything that Joss Whedon shot. So anything that wasn't in the new one, we can assume was reshoots.
Oh, okay.
Like Batman getting knocked down.
Edit, though.
Well, yeah, that whole scene in the beginning with Batman interrogating the guy, that that was obvious. That was fucking obvious. Yeah. I mean, anything where Ben Affleck's weight will change, yeah, that's a fucking reshoot. And they even mentioned that when they did the Martian Manhunter scene at the end of Zack Snyder's one, even though that didn't make no fucking sense. But Ben Affleck, the Martian Manhunter being there. He was like, "Oh, my name is John Jones. I'm the Martian Manhunter. I'm here to help." Like, where the fuck were you the other two times where it was about to? Yeah, this doesn't make sense story wise. Like, I
understand.
Yeah, so, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, it could all be on the studio's end. Do I went in thinking like, oh, they just hate black people? No, if they did that, they wouldn't have cast him. They wouldn't have made Cyborg. He's not a core member of the Justice League, except in the New 52 run. So if they didn't have to have him in the movie, they could have put Green Lantern back in there, but they don't want to use him. So
but if Zack Snyder wanted him in there, it's like, well, I'm making this character, and it's about like if this is his story, because that's what it was.
Yeah,
it's his story, and then they came out and changed it, and I think that they couldn't. They probably wanted to remove him, but they couldn't because look at all the stuff that the fight scene, all that, like it's in there.
Yeah, but
there's no way you can really remove this character.
Yeah, but the studio greenlights all of that shit. It's not Zack Snyder's not the one that's putting the bill up. So WB can come in there and be like, okay, we want you to change everything about the movie, and he would have to still do it unless he signed some agreement saying that they can't do that. Which I don't know why they would sign that shit.
At that point, we don't know.
So
I mean. But this is his magnum opus type thing. So I would kind of suspect that if he did have a right to do this, well, look at Batman Superman. Prime example. If that did so well, or it's like it was highly anticipated, all that other stuff, then if he had had in his contract to do a whole nother movie, then they would give him permission to do
3 movies,
any of that stuff. So at that point, yeah. But then look at how much they took out after he left. It's like,
yeah, well,
it's hard to not deny it. You know what I mean?
The reason why they took it out is because they wanted to make a lighter movie. Zack's Justice League is tonally bland. You got to remember, Batman v Superman was a popular movie, but at the same time, it was a heavily divisive movie. Everybody hated, or not everybody. Let's say, I'm just throwing out numbers there, but let's say 70% of the people thought it was like, oh, this movie's not funny. There's no levity in it. There's none of this. There's none of that. So they got all of that back. And the only other people who loved it, the extra 30%, are people who just love anything Zack Snyder puts out. So they were trying to get some of that Marvel money. So when Batman v Superman came back and they was like, okay, this movie's heavily divisive. When he left on Justice League, that's why they brought Whedon specifically in, because he did Avengers and he's known for doing those lighthearted scenes. So they tried to Marvel Justice League and they fucked it up.
I will take that over the other stuff because when you put it like that, it makes a little sense to take an angry black man out because that's not lighthearted. And remove all of the hard hitting stuff, like the car crash.
They wanted to make I'm not gonna say a happy Marvel movie, but they wanted to make a Marvel-esque movie. That's why in Whedon's version you have a lot of jokes here and there, and that's why a lot of the jokes in Zack Snyder's version kind of don't land. But they cut all that stuff out, and it makes it for a blander, more serious tone movie that like he would do. That's why they lightened the scenes, like that whole ending fight scene when they went to Russia or Eastern Europe or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that whole scene was kind of changed the lighting because they wanted to make it lighter versus darker.
Yeah,
so it's it's the studio. Granted, I don't think they shouldn't have did that. I mean, it's number one. Well, outside of the Ray Fisher stuff, I've always thought about Justice League and Snyder. It's just like it's the studio's job, and then I could be wrong. I'm not in acting. I don't know anything about it really. But it's the studio's job. It's their characters. You don't tell somebody else to be like, look, you know what? Make your vision of the characters. Do anything you want. That's a big fucking no. Those are your characters. You have to be like, look, this character does this character has to be this way, this character has to be this way. Now, fit within those parameters, do anything you want.
WB has already proved that they don't do stuff like that.
And hence the problem.
Yeah. So I will say this, like, the whole removing of those scenes, yes, that does make the movie a little more lighthearted. Mm. It may be a coincidence that all those scenes literally had all the people of color in them.
I don't believe in coincidences that much.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, you might be,
It's just one of those, wow, like, to remove all the scenes that actually gave the movie context without actually reshooting the entire thing over.
Yeah.
And making the story make sense and make it more lighthearted. But instead, you just like, okay, all these people that give the scene context, they got to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all like...
Yeah, that's the problem.
All people of color. It's what the hell?
Yeah, you should need those scenes, but you got to think the people who greenlighted that was WB management, who don't think like that. They just think, look, what's the bottom line? What are people going to like?
They're not sitting there hovering over the person, and they gave director, like, it's your movie. Now it's your movie. Do what you need to do to make it good. And then you take out, even if you took out everybody else, you take out the main shit that made the main character. If anything, make sense.
He should have been in there because that's the story of the movie. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's like, and then you have the actor actually saying abuse on set and racism, and then you have executives inside saying that we don't want an angry black man as the main story. It's like, now we've known that other companies, bigger name companies, have said stuff in-house that they didn't think was going to get out.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, stuff like that. So it's just one of those, man, it's hard to be like, I just can't ignore it, you know. Yeah. But that's just my 2 cents on it. But again, other people, other actors from other shows, BT, stuff like that, they want to work with Ray Fisher, and it seems that whoever's getting like the short end of the stick right now is not the actor. It's
WB.
Well, yeah, WB and Josh Whedon. More Josh Whedon than anything. WB is going to protect its own ass. You know?
Yeah, they're gonna be fine. I mean, I don't know. You know, like I said, I wish somebody did come out and say what happened, because then we can finally stop everything from. I'm tired of hearing about Ray Fisher talk shit on Twitter, but if I wish somebody would come out and say what happened. That way, we all at least know what happened. But I mean, it's like I said, nobody's ever gonna know for sure. And if other people from other shows that previously the Joss Whedon worked with said that he was a certain way, why would they come out and say it now versus back then? So yeah, it has to be some kind of evidence towards, you know, if it's not racism, maybe it's what they talked about, belligerency, something, you know, something that, you know, because otherwise it will be just Ray Fisher in this movie, but everybody else in all the other movies and projects he's been with, they be fine. But if other people were saying stuff, it's like, yeah, it's likely that he did something or something happened with Whedon specifically.
I would have been like, I would have had the exact same thought if other people didn't come out and say something. Like, other people from prior shows that from back in the day, if you would have said it, it would have ended your career and not the career of the director. Like, so those people said it. Jason Momoa, like, he came out. I know I'm saying that wrong. Jason Momoa, yeah. He came out and said, he didn't say exactly what it was, but he said certain things that kind of collaborated.
Yeah, he agrees with Ray Fisher on a lot of stuff. Yeah,
it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, these people don't matter. It's just him being,
They wouldn't go to bat for him if they didn't see him, because otherwise they don't got shit to do with it. They would just stay out of it. So yeah, so it could be. I'm just
a little bit more disappointed nobody else said anything. Like, Top Billing didn't say anything. It's like,
because like I said, everybody got to play the game. They know how to play it. They rather just
you're too fucking popular. You're too popular.
They'd rather stay out.
You can be in whatever you want. You can be in whatever you want.
Yeah, but in today's day and age, with the cancel culture bullshit and all that shit,
they're not like. Anybody who comes out and says and speaks against some bullshit that's happening, they're not getting canceled. If anything, they're getting more popular because they're getting picked up for other stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But then it's like, you got to remember, if WB don't like that, they may not hire him for more movies. I'm just saying. as an actor, you want to be in more shit, not less shit.
WB, how much does WB actually put out?
Yeah, probably not a lot to my opinion.
You got Netflix, you got all these other streaming services with actually bigger name brand stuff, more popular stuff that you can be in. Like there's people already talking about how they want to work with Ray Fisher. If anything, I want to say like more black directors are being like, come on over here. You know what I mean? Like
I hope it's not just that, because usually that's a small minority. I mean,
it is. I mean, it is, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the industry as a whole isn't as like linked together as it used to be. No. You know what I mean? Like it used to be like one of those, if you blacklist this person,
that good old boy system,
yeah. I don't think it's like that anymore. There's more people. It's like you got messed up over there. That's okay. I got this thing I want you in. You can come over here. And now he's moving to Fox. He's jumping around Netflix. He's moving like to Hulu and all these other streaming services that do extremely good stuff. I think that now, because of cancel culture, I think that now there are more people in top brass that have more of a we're going to make sure that we don't have the exact same industry that we had in the 90s and the 80s and shit before that. You know, it's like it's more forward-thinking people getting into those seats that don't allow stuff like that to happen.
I think that's a blessing and a curse, because Hollywood is definitely changing. It's nowhere near how it used to be when it comes to a lot of that stuff, but it's not fully changed over yet, or at least in my eyes, where it should be. The problem with getting more left-wing, left-righted people in there, you get a lot of that political and social bullshit in a lot of your stuff that they don't want.
I can see that.
So I can see that. It comes with that too, and that's what I don't want in my movies. I don't care about politics. I don't want, social agendas. I don't want every movie to be like you have to have one black person, one white person, one Asian person, and it's like I don't feel like that pandering to any particular group of color, whether it be white, black, or whatever, that ain't right either. So let me just make this character Asian because we want to make an Asian movie. Fucking no, make the character. But that's the game that they play. So I don't know.
I still kind of believe that there's a select group, like, I don't want to say like Disney, but like, let's say take Marvel for instance.
Yeah,
you can have a company. Well, let's not take Marvel. Marvel doesn't do a lot of the pandering stuff, right? They're just kind of true to the story.
Yeah, they do it sometimes, but
they do it sometimes, but it's not like in your face.
Yeah, it's not. It's not every movie you see. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I would be okay with a company that's like, our stories matter, but how you're treated on set. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's paramount.
Yeah.
You're not a kid. You're not just some kind of throwaway replaceable person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
you want to be a valued employee. Yeah, I mean, granted, I want most people to, or most companies to do that, but
that's what I think that Hollywood is becoming. It's more like abuse, no matter where it is no longer tolerated.
Yeah.
And you can see that. Fans everywhere speaking up, actors were speaking up. Yeah, it's one of those things.
It's more out there now.
Yeah. There's too many avenues to go to just keep quiet now about bullshit that goes on, especially from like bullshit from popular people or famous industry people. You know what I mean? It's like, you shouldn't have that anymore.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think you will, because as more of it's becoming known, all of the stuff that went on in Hollywood, just in general, like let's say, you probably can't count how many ladies went into Hollywood and was like, oh, you can get this part of this TV show, but you gotta,
that casting couch, man.
Yeah, that's a real fucking thing for a lot of people. Or let's say like, oh, if I help you with this project, you're gonna help me with my project, and we're gonna get you this movie 2 years from now, whatever. So that's the system that I want them to tear down. But at the same time, the people who run a lot of that stuff are corporations and managements and that kind of sort of stuff. And usually that doesn't change unless a major shakeup happens. Like, you have to have like, oh, the investors come in and be like, look, break up the management team, fire like management, get all new people in there. Because when it comes to the companies and stuff, the management level, let's say like vice president, man, you know, the directors of films or whatever, like those people who make those decisions up top, they don't go nowhere. It's usually everybody below them. So if they're making bad, shitty decisions, it's going to always be bad, shitty decisions until they move out. Hence, and just like in Disney's case, that's where Disney's at right now with Star Wars. But
as long as it's only one company do it and not everybody else, I think everybody be fine.
Yeah, I think Hollywood in general, I think right now they're reeling. They're trying to, given this new day and age and cancel on social culture and the internet, they have to figure out what works. Yeah. Because the way that they've been doing things is not working. And I think they're reeling too hard and going in the opposite direction, like with the Asian violence and stuff. I didn't even realize that was a thing until like a couple weeks ago. But,
what do you mean in like the opposite direction with that?
Well, I'll get to it, but in the direction of pandering to, let's say, Asian culture now, since the violence is in the news and stuff like that, they're like, oh, we're going to put more Asian focused stuff out there versus, you know, it's as like a way of like, oh, the show, oh, well, we got this Asian culture thing, you know, and it's like,
I can see why they do it. It's,
if they were genuine about it, I would like it more. But if it's more along the lines of, oh, let's just show that we have a person of color, then it's like you're a token at that point.
See, I kind of don't think it's like that. And this is just like my way of thinking. With stuff like that, I think that sometimes as Americans, you know, we consume a lot of media.
Yeah.
And if the only media out there is negative media, if anybody's just pushing out media that's a positive thing, it kind of tries to rally more and more people to look at it as a normalization of this person or that person. Sometimes it can get annoying, but if it tones down everything, it's for the best, you know. Especially though, if the person that's getting the handout is actually a person of color that wouldn't ordinarily get a handout. I mean, yeah, it's upsetting that that's the only way that they can get it. But if that starts something, I would rather take that.
I see what you're saying. The message of it is still good, regardless if that particular instance or the reason why they're doing it may not be good. Prime example, just to touch on that. That's how I feel about the. You remember that the one YouTuber, the white girl that you told me about, the one who always talks about man stuff.
Oh yeah, Roma something. Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that about her. I think when you first told her and we was looking it up, a lot of people don't like her stuff because I guess she
speaks for men's rights, and usually a lot of people right now are feeling that men have too many rights and other people don't have enough.
Well, not even with that, but a lot of people were being negative towards her because I guess she doesn't believe what she's saying. I guess. Yeah, like I remember watching a few YouTubers talk about it.
Like she's bullshitting about it?
Yeah.
She's just getting more, like the views and stuff based on unpopular opinion and stuff like that and pandering. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've always thought, and I'm still sub to her, I check out her videos every now and again because I could care less if she believes in it or not. But the message is still good. So if it's a good message, it's getting out there more. That's same difference what you were just saying. So yeah, you might be right on that.
I don't know. I mean, that's just my 2 cents about the whole thing. I really don't want to talk about it anymore.
I mean,
it's just one of those things. Is like when it comes out.
Yeah,
I think it's good for us to discuss it.
Yeah.
Just get each other's views and stuff on it. But yeah, it is a very particular situation.
Yeah, super weird. And if it doesn't come out, we'll probably never know what really happened, and they probably won't be allowed to say one way or the other. And
I just hope for the best, you know, for everybody. It's not like Josh Whedon is a horrible director. I don't know what he's like on set.
Yeah, he could be a shitty person. He could be an asshole. I have no idea.
You know, but like the movies that he does create, they're really good. So I would hate for him to be blacklisted, but like if it's something that he deserves it, fine.
100%.
Yeah. I don't even care anymore. You know, and then on the other side of that, Ray Fisher, he's still, to me, a really great actor. I would hate for him to go back to theater. So I would love to see him in more stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad he's not 100% blacklisted because that was something I thought. I mean, if you throw a company under the bus, then they're not going to want to work with you. Anybody on their level isn't going to want to work with you and stuff like that. So I'm glad he's finding work, because of what happened, and he can still get work in Hollywood. It just won't be with WB, but hey, the Hollywood, like you said, it's not like that no more. So, he can find work elsewhere. So hopefully he can make that work for him.
I bet if they said Zack Snyder can come out with more movies and shit, because people are trying.
Yeah, people are saying that, but I mean, it's number one. It's WB may not want to do it, but it's AT&T's decision. They're the parent company, so they're the ones who pushed for him to come out with his whole thing. And
yes, but unfortunately, because it's a WB property, they still pulled Green Lantern out of his cut because it was supposed to be in there, but they took it out. And that wasn't AT&T taking it out. That was WB saying, like, nope, that's got to go.
Yeah, like I said, they don't want to do anything with Green Lantern. They don't want to. They don't want to do. They don't want to. They want to forget he exists. But
if Zack Snyder, if because the fans are rallying right now for them to make a Zack Snyder cut, like the original cut, restore the Snyder cut.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I
mean, he gets popular and all of a sudden changes his mind about making more movies.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the popularity. Nothing at all.
I'm just saying.
It's about money. The only reason AT&T let him do this cut, because they were the ones who pushed it. WB wanted us. Ever since the original Justice League, they wanted to squash the whole thing. They didn't give no fucks about it. But AT&T, it's a difference in the mindset. WB is a movie studio. Mm-hmm. So they want people to be like, look, just watch anything we put out. Don't care. Don't care about what we're doing. You're going to watch it anyway. AT&T, they're a telecommunications company. Yep. Their mindset is, no, let's give the people what they want because they're the ones who are paying us our money. So that's why they did it. The only downside to that is if they could. You would have to line everything up in a row. And honestly, that's not going to happen.
It's perfect world scenario.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he decides to come back,
make
something else.
Number one, you WB, have. Let
him do whatever.
Well, WB don't gotta do anything. AT&T can come down and be like, "Look, do the movie this way. Let him do whatever he wants." And they would have to.
AT&T can't.
Yeah, they can.
Does AT&T own WB?
Yes, they're the parent company. They bought them.
Okay, so if that's the case, then why would they take out a Green Lantern?
I don't know. It's
like Zack Snyder literally said, it was a WB executive decision that they remove Green Lantern. That's not an AT&T saying that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
WB saying that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. AT&T, they don't micromanage WB. They should, but they don't.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's like, if that's the case, then they still, if they're not micromanaging it, then they're still going to do it anyway. They're still allowing WB to control their own property.
That's why I said it's in a perfect thing. Everything has to line up.
In a perfect
world, AT&T would be like, no, let him do his thing if that's what they wanted, and they'd be forced to do it. Number one, that probably ain't gonna happen. Two,
Ray Fisher will come back.
That ain't gonna happen.
Unless he try to kill our Cyborg.
Yeah, it's like that probably ain't gonna happen. Number one, Zack Snyder said that he wasn't doing any no more. So unless you pay him a lot of money or he just magically changes his mind, that ain't gonna happen. Number one, you got to get all the actors back together. That ain't gonna happen because they're all doing other shit. So
I don't even want to do no more.
Yeah, shit. Ben Affleck, he ain't doing it. Like he ain't doing it. I hope he would come back, but yeah, it depends.
Cavill, I think I saw an article where Henry Cavill was like trying to push for a. Hold
on. Yeah, WB don't know what they want to do with him. That's why they haven't fully, announced that. It's like, oh yeah, he's still Superman or not. Fans are like, is he still Superman? You ain't making no Man of Steel sequel? Like, what you doing?
No, I saw an article where Henry Cavill was pushing for a Superman TV show or something like that.
They're not going to do that because they already got one.
Streaming service, like like Falcon and Winter Soldier type thing.
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be like
HBO Max, HBO Max series or something. Yeah. They could. He should get a fucking movie though. That's a huge downgrade to go from a movie to a streaming service TV show. That's kind of fucked up.
How is it a downgrade? How is that a downgrade?
Because it's like he got the shaft of being Superman.
That's not a downgrade. You think Falcon and Winter Soldier is a downgrade from the movies? That's continuous work. That's
he ain't Captain America, so some people would see that as a downgrade.
No, take out the viewer part as an actor.
Yeah. It's continuing work. Yeah, you just want to work. So
yeah, you're in constant work, and you're in episodes that feel like mini movies anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, I think a downgrade would be like, oh, here's some public TV shit. You know what I
mean? Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, honestly, with Henry Cavill, it's like, if he's not Superman, to me, that'd be like, that's a fucking wasted opportunity. I would love to see Marvel pick him up and have him be Hyperion. Because Hyperion's like Marvel's analog to Superman, or one of them, but he is the most Superman-esque guy in Marvel that you could do that with, and just have him be Superman under a different name, and then have him be the Christopher Reeve character. Huh?
The gold guy. What was his name?
What gold guy?
The gold guy in Marvel that was supposed to come out but never did.
Oh, you mean the Sentry? Nah, he's Superman-esque only in just how strong a character is. Like he has mental issues. He flips back and forth. He has anger and emotional issues. So I wouldn't call him Superman. Hyperion is Superman. Like, oh, my dad sent me from another planet to Earth, and it's everything.
Marvel's version of Superman.
Yeah, take Injustice Superman, and that's who Hyperion. So he was like the angry Superman character. He was ego. You're gonna do what I say because I say it. And then he became a hero, flipped his mindset, and then he's became a regular hero. So they can take that, drop that all that evil shit, and just have him be Christopher Reeve Superman under different colors.
I forgot, we got totally off point, off topic.
Oh yeah, yeah. This 15-minute video ended up being 51 minutes.
Fuck, dude. Anyway,
but it is what it is. So
yeah.
All right. You want to outro it or?
Hell no. Like, comment, subscribe. If you made it this far, dope. Appreciate it. I don't.
Do you agree with Ray Fisher's shit talking smack? I messed that up on Twitter.
Why do you have to say it like that? Why do you guys call it shit talking? Like,
well,
like it's just angry man speaking out and saying bullshit.
I ain't say all that. Wow, I just said he was shit talking.
But you say you call it shit talking. It's not shit talking. It's someone who's voicing
what happened. Do you guys agree with Ray Fisher's PC political statements with WB?
I hate this so much.
But anyway, do you guys agree with Ray Fisher? Do you think WB gave him the 9-inch shaft in Justice League and his character and all, and all that? So let us know down in the comments below.
If you made it this far, type 9-inch shaft in the comments below. I was looking for something. Like, yeah, appreciate that. People will get it.